The first part of Kissing Bones is based on the Grimm's fairy tales. Quite a number of Grimm's fairy tales I've taken and worked on and given them a very contemporary twist. They're not actually fairy tales, they're more folk tales, and they're ways of understanding the world in which we live. They're very old stories, actually, and they've migrated from country to country. Some of them have got their roots in classical Greek mythology even. But they're ways of explaining the world to ourselves and explaining the way human beings behave. They're ways of dealing with death. They're ways of dealing with change and flux in our lives. So the first one I'm going to read is actually not based on a Grimm's fairy tale, but it's called Hausmärchen, which is the German word for, I suppose, a house story, if you like. Because we all grow up with myths and stories in our own lives, don't we? So in this, there are the myths and stories that I grew up with that my mother told me about my own family and our ancestors. And indeed, myths about the world. Go beyond the book, the one she placed on the trunk in the box bedroom, saying, "This is the first, there will be more," before the day she took you down Hoop Lane and Golders Green Road to the library, before, to the stories about the war, how the skies over Bristol were lit up at night, how a refugee, yes, we took refugees into our homes in those days, taught her to make gravy with nutmeg the German way, how her sister felt hands round her neck at the dentist and found out there'd once been a murder, how their mother favoured one daughter, how the number 3 kept cropping up, 3 sisters as mad as each other, abandoned children and a son born from the cushion stuffed up a jumper. How fingerprints as small as match heads were found in the jelly. How fairies knew what you were thinking. And finally, the biggest story of them all, St. Nicholas, the myth man, the do-good man, who was white and not black, who was fat and not thin, who had a team of Coca-Cola reindeers that could make the world right in 24 hours flat, was found out when I was 7, in 1961. The year Gagarin orbited the Earth, the year of the Bay of Pigs, when OPEC was formed and Vietnam began, the year the Berlin Wall went up.